This week I spoke with BMO Myers and Lauren Prowitz, where they're the only two actors playing 9 different characters each. We talked about what brings them to the stage and what inspires them as actors. So here's Inside Artists, Tuna Does Vegas. What attracts you guys to the stage?
I like to be able to put on someone else's skin and live in that world. Plus the applause isn't too bad to hear the end of it. Yeah, I don't know. It's just something I've always done. So it's one thing I know very well. So I don't know.
Yeah, I grew up in a musical family, and my mom and dad met. My mom and her sister were radio performers, did country and western stuff, and had a regular radio show down in Kansas City.
I didn't know
when
that.
they were young. And that's how my mom and dad met. My dad had a band, and they were guest performers on their radio show down in Kansas City. And the bass singer in my dad's group was kind of sweet on my mom's sister and asked if she could ride home from Kansas City back to St. Joe with them. But my grandfather said no, not unless both girls could ride, because he didn't trust just sending one girl, with these crazy guys from St. Joe. And so that's when my mom and dad first met, but they ended up going to the same high school and got to know each other, and they hooked up.
Tuna Does Vegas is the name of that.
Sure.
And I was reading that it's one of 4 and part of a Tuna series.
Right.
Why Tuna Does Vegas out of the other 3?
Well, first of all, from a RT standpoint, it's less on our resources. It only requires 2 actors. The set isn't as what's the word? The set isn't as big, or the props aren't meticulous. Nothing about it is draining any of our resources. So that, first of all. Second of all, St. Joe loves the Tuna series, so you put it up on stage, we're going to sell tickets because they love it. And they love it for all the right reasons. I mean, it's hilarious, it's fast-paced, it's sit down and watch. You don't have to think too much about it. All you got to do, it's easy comedy. You watch, have a good time, and you go home and you're not really contemplating the deep meaning of Tuna Does Vegas on your drive home. So
Yeah, a lot of these characters have a real Midwestern feel.
Yeah.
So, people in the audience are going to relate to them. They're not super realistic. They're almost like caricatures of people, but you might recognize a little bit of your, Aunt Bessie or your, Cousin Eddie or whatever in a lot of these characters that are on stage, which makes it kind of funny too.
Is it draining to play all those characters in
Yes.
one?
It's hard.
Yes.
Which is one of the reasons that drew me to an audition. As an actor, I was somewhat excited and intrigued by the challenge of portraying 9 different characters in one show. That just seemed like an interesting challenge as an actor to try to take something like that on. So after auditions, I was kind of happy that Lindsay cast me in the show.
yeah.
Check back next week for another Inside Artists. And as always, hit me up on Twitter, @SJNPHahn. I'm Dave Hahn.